Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angie Whitcomb. Our hope is that these candidate profiles and interviews will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2013 election. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to get out the vote on November 5th. Please visit the Chamber website to find out information about future candidate debates, as well as polling hours and locations. And thank you for making the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau your election information resource. Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and today I am joined by Shakopee Mayor and re-election hopeful candidate Brad Tabke. Hi, Tabke, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
What we'd like to start out with is just have you tell the audience at home a little bit about yourself and why you're running for re-election.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Angie, for having this forum. This is a great thing to have for Shakopee residents to see what candidates say about everything that's going on in Shakopee, because we have a lot going on right now. Like Angie said, my name is Brad Tabke. I have been mayor since January of last year. I took over as mayor after winning the election back in November of 2011. And so we have done a lot of things in Shakopee the last year and a half. It's been a lot of fun and it's been a great time. I moved to Shakopee in 2003. I have a wife who teaches here at the Shakopee High School. I have two daughters. Jean is 6, Isla is 2, and we have a great time being really involved in the Shakopee community and have a lot of fun doing things throughout town and meeting new people. So it's been a great experience working as Shakopee's mayor, and I hope to continue that for another 2 years.
Great. Mayor Tabke, in your view, what is the most pressing issue facing our community in the next year? And if re-elected, what steps will you take to address that issue?
Yeah, we have been working really hard on a lot of things. And as of 2 years ago when I was elected, the number one thing that we've been working on has been economic development, economic development, economic development. I think that we have proven that we have been extremely successful in that way. We've got the next 5 years, we've got 4,500 jobs coming to Shakopee. All of them are new to Shakopee's, within Shakopee's borders, and nearly all of them are all brand new jobs being created here in Shakopee. So we are really excited about that work that we've done, that we've accomplished over the last year and a half. And so now as we move into what I hope to be my next term of 2 years, it will be continuing that momentum that we've created over the last 2 years. We've worked really hard to create contacts and work within the business community and the broker community to develop that, develop the momentum and develop the contacts and connections for creating these jobs here in Shakopee. And so we must continue along that same path. We must continue to grow jobs here in Shakopee because it does so many things for our community. We grew a lot through the 2000s in residential, and a lot of people, including myself, moved here to Shakopee. I decided to raise my family here in Shakopee back in 2003, and it's really important that we have the jobs within town to sustain all those folks. And so we need to continue to grow the number of jobs because it brings a lot of money within our borders so that everybody can afford to have a family within Shakopee. So that is a very good thing. Also, as we grow jobs within Shakopee, it continues to reduce the burdens on our infrastructure. So we've got very limited amount of river crossings. So the less people who we have going north of the river to work every day, the better it is for everyone for having jobs here and close to home. So that is the number one thing that I hope to continue working on in the next 2 years if I'm reelected.
Great. New jobs are fantastic, but keeping the companies that we have here is equally as important, if not more so. So if re-elected, Mayor Tabke, how will you support the health of the business community?
Absolutely. That is a huge part of what we've been working on, is that we have not had in the past in Shakopee enough jobs total here in Shakopee to support a lot of the other things that we want to have going on with quality of life. having retail developments and having other things that are really important for people's quality of life, and to get people to grow and expand their business here in Shakopee. We've been really successful as well, not only attracting new jobs to Shakopee, but having business expansions happening in Shakopee. FedEx did a gigantic expansion and hiring a lot more folks. Apple Ford is working on expansion right now. Imagine Printing did a 300,000 square foot expansion. And so people want to be here and they want to grow jobs here in Shakopee, and we want to continue working on that. And not only on that larger scale, we're working a lot with the downtown Shakopee area, and it has always been a focus of mine that we need to have a strong core downtown for our city. It's one of the things that makes Shakopee extremely unique in the metro, is that we have a historic downtown. And by having that historic downtown, it gives us a lot of flexibility and ability to grow local retail, homegrown shops here on the river, and we need to continue focusing on that. And that's one of the plans we put into place that we're working on with the Chamber currently, is to strengthen and enforce and grow jobs in our downtown. And we have just signed off on a $50,000 study for that in conjunction with Scott County, is for how do we continue to grow those jobs here in Shakopee and expand businesses. So there are a lot of things going on both of those fronts at the same time.
Great. You'll have experience answering this. If somebody was considering moving their family or their business here to Shakopee, what would you say to them to convince them that Shakopee is the best place for that move to take place?
When we have people who want to move or grow their businesses in Shakopee, specifically, what I've found in going through that process with many companies over the last year and a half is that it's a lot less important to say things than it is to listen to what they want. When we've been talking with companies about moving here to Shakopee, we need to do our job of understanding what their needs are, and not just saying that we have this chunk of land that we want you to build on or this building where we want you to be. We need to find out really what works for that company and what is important to them and what their core values are. Shutterfly, for example, that is 1,200 jobs coming to Shakopee by the end of next year, and with them it is really important to be part of a community. And so what can they do to be part of the Shakopee community? Because their mantra is creating memories, and they want to be able to create memories where they're at. And so we worked with them on being members of the Chamber and being members and working with the schools and being an integral part of our community. And that is one of the major things that they want to see when they move somewhere. And so we talked a lot about those ideals. And so once we get a good understanding of what those companies want to have when they are choosing where they want to move, as well as families, we need to make sure to do a great job then of selling what we've got. We in Shakopee have a lot of extraordinary benefits to living here in Shakopee and working here in Shakopee. We have great access to transportation, with 494 and 169 being completed. It is really easy to get to and from Shakopee for the first time in Shakopee's history. We can get around the metro a lot easier than we could in the past. We also have extremely low tax rates compared to other communities within the metro and across the country. And we also have another thing that we don't talk outwardly a lot about, but is a huge selling point for a lot of the companies wanting to move to Shakopee, is our fiber network, and access to high-speed internet is critical for a lot of folks. And so that is another thing that we really work hard on selling as well. We've got a great residential housing base here in Shakopee, so we've got all different ranges of homes here in Shakopee for people to move to. We need to continue working on getting more houses in Shakopee, but that's one of the next steps down the road. And so there are a lot of great ways to sell our city, along with the fact that we're an extremely safe community. We have one of the lowest crime rates in the metro, and so that's extremely exciting, and our police department does a wonderful job taking care of our residents. We just hired 4 full-time firefighters, which is extremely important to the continued safety of our community. And then as well, we have extremely great quality of life in schools. And so it's a good place to be. And hopefully people are understanding that as we continue to sell Shakopee and move things forward.
Sure. Okay. You have a challenger in this race.
Yes.
What sets you apart from your competition, and why should people of Shakopee re-elect you?
Councilor Lehman and I, it is very easy to see, I think, between Councilor Lehman and I, the two different visions that we set forward for Shakopee. And not that one is necessarily right or wrong for everyone. I have a way that I think that we should be moving forward as a community, and Matt has a way that he thinks we should be moving forward as a community. And they just happen to be two completely different paths. And the path that I would like to see us moving forward with is continuing to grow our economy, grow our tax base here in Shakopee, which does a lot to ensure our future and make sure that we have enough jobs here, because the river crossings will do nothing but get more congested, and they will get more difficult. And so we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves as a community, and that we are growing jobs, and that we are growing our economic impact here in Shakopee. And so Councilor Lehman has voted against the vast majority of the incentive packages for jobs to come to Shakopee. It wouldn't be happening if it weren't for those incentive packages. So it's critical that we continue to move forward with partnering with businesses and other entities to get these jobs to happen. Like I said, we've got 4,500 jobs coming to Shakopee in the next 5 years, which any other community in the metro or the state or the country would kill for. So we are extremely lucky and worked really hard to get those things done. And that's not the direction that Councilor Lehman wants to continue to move in with regards to economic development and business. It's not to say that he doesn't want to continue to grow jobs here. I just don't think that his plan and the way he wants to move forward with it will work. And so we need to continue moving Shakopee forward by growing jobs. We need to continue working on our quality of life in Shakopee. We need to continue to look at ways where, like the First Avenue corridor, for example, is a perfect example. We need to look at what those areas can be in their next phase. We need to be a city that is planful and looks forward to what our future will be, not just 6 months down the road, but 20 years down the road, and making sure that we are securing our future for my children and for Matt's children. And we need to continue to do a lot of those things that are forward-looking and future-looking, and not just right here and now for what our vision for Shakopee will be in the long term. So there are two, like I said, two very different visions for what Shakopee could be, and I very much look forward to having those conversations in debates and with residents of Shakopee as to where people want to go. From my perspective, we need to continue moving forward in the direction. We've made a lot of progress in the last year and a half. And I can by no means take credit for it all, but we have a lot of great things going on through our wonderful staff that we've got at Shakopee, and partnering with folks like the Chamber and partnering with other governmental entities. And it's been a great ride. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, I hope to continue moving in that direction for the next 2 years.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today and for sharing your vision. And we'll see you in November.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining this edition of the 2013 Meet the Candidates, brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Please be sure to check out the Chamber's website at shakopee.org for all information leading up to the November 5th, 2013 election.